Hey, welcome back. So we're going to talk about manifesting a relationship a little more. I think that this is a nice place to go to. Um, okay, I've talked to you a lot about letting go of form, meaning I want it to look this way, right? And when it comes to a particular person, we get so attached to form that we don't focus on the essence of, right? And we know what our preferences are. And I think because we get so attached to form, we ignore our preferences. So I say focus on your preferences. So what do I mean by preferences? Like, okay, I will share some of the things that are on my list, right? I want a man who is taller than me. It's really important. I like height. I want a man who is a professional and he loves his job. And he's either a principal in that job or self-employed, because we can jam about that. I find that really sexy, to be in a relationship with someone who has chosen their profession and worked really hard to create it, like I have. I find I get along better with those types of people. Someone who is between 35 and 40. It's really important to me because I love the 90s and I love the generation I grew up in, and I want someone I can share cultural references with. I also have dated younger than that, 34, 33, and I found that didn't have the same cultural references. Yeah. I want someone who is independent, who is not looking to get married, that wants to be in a long-term relationship, committed, who doesn't want children, and is clean and neat. And it has, I have some others that I'm not going to share, but wants to spend their weekends with someone, and their weekend time are doing things that we both mutually enjoy. Common interest is very important to me. And that there is just good communication, respect, and laughter. Someone that's going to laugh at my jokes, and I can laugh at theirs. And my brother will respect. Yeah, that's up my list, right? And so on the physical side, outside of being tall, I love beards. I love masculine men, and men who have a sense of style, very well dressed, that is uniquely their own. And someone who's confident in who they are. They've been through their journey, they've done their self-work, they have some type of spiritual practice in place that works for them, and they are financially well. So that's my list, right? Now, I can tell you, I have a visual for this man. Totally do. I know what he looks like. And, in between these videos, I take a break sometimes, and I'll flip through my dating apps or, check email. But this particular time I was looking through a dating app, and I saw a man. I read his profile, and he had, it, from what I could see, a lot of the qualities I just listed out here. And so, but he did not look like the man I'm envisioning, right? He had the height, he had the beard, that's important to me. That's what I mean by letting go of form. Like, if I were just focused on form, I would have missed that, oh, wow, this is a guy that meets the standard that I want. Now, in sharing my list with you, in no way does that need to become your list. I want to be clear here. You'll make your own list, and it's okay to want what you want. A component of mine is that he's educated, and I know the last couple of men that I swiped on were not, and I went on a date with him, and it wasn't. They started and didn't finish, and it's just not a good match for me. The vibe's not great. It doesn't mean they're not good people. It's just there is a journey that comes with completing a college education, in my opinion. None of you have to take that on. This is my perspective. I'm sharing this with you because I've given it thought. I've tested it. I'm clear on what my preferences are, and I want you to be clear on what your preferences are. Don't take on anybody else's preferences. Really test them. Say, okay, do I want an educated man? Let's go out with a whole bunch of them. And are they cool? Do we get along? Do I want a man who is a doctor? Okay, let's go. Let's figure out, spirit, show me. Let's get some doctors running up and through and see if I enjoy that experience. And test it. And that's one of the things about manifestation that I think is important is clarity. And I mentioned this earlier when we were, in a video about pure, clean desire. Sometimes you don't know. And you might need to go out and do a little research and test some of these ideas that you have about what you want to see if it's a match. Great example of that, it's fictional, but Sex and the City. Charlotte thought she wanted a certain type of man that looked a certain type of way, Ivy League, right? In a lot of ways, she got the opposite of that in her truest love. She was the happiest of them all, right? Because she finally got out of her own way, stopped focusing on form, and started focusing on how she felt. And when you focus on how you feel, that is your most powerful indicator of what is right for you. We can get in our own ways, and much of that is because we have misjudged, or we're judging a situation inaccurately. And if we can trust our feelings and trust ourselves and trust our well-being, and even as I say that to you now, I'm channeling this from spirit, but even as I say that to you, there have been times when I know what is right for me, but the programming is so strong and so loud that it makes me question myself, and it makes me nervous and anxious and doubtful. So really look and see, is this programming that I'm operating out of, or am I operating in alignment with my preferences and not giving myself permission to have what I want? So play with that. That's my tip on manifesting love. Let go of form. Focus on what you need. When I work with clients, I call it the magical 8. I've expanded it now to put what you need. What do you want that person to be on that list, and hold firm to that. Test it out. See if that really works for you, and it's not just a fantasy, and proceed accordingly. Because all the fantasy stuff that I thought was like, this is the right man, it's all been a bunch of bullshit when it came down to it. I have to go with what feels right and authentic, and that is the washer. And so this is the end of this video. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out for my 50-part manifesting series. I'm Amy of intuitivecoachingwithamy.com.